Hey everyone, welcome along. This is the first live I've ever done on Instagram, so if you're there, welcome along. Good. So I wanted to do a live every night this week and try and speak to somebody different. Good, bad boy, good to see you there. The first watcher there. Hey, we've got quite a few there. Good to see you. Yeah, so I wanted to try and do a live every night this week and speak to somebody different within the industry. So tonight we've got on somebody very special who I haven't spoken to in many years. I think it's probably more than 25 years. Tom, good to see you there, buddy. Vixter. Yeah, I haven't seen him, and we've only texted in over 20 years, but he is an anxiety specialist. Now, for all my acting chums out there and people who are in the industry, I know that people may think, oh, yeah, if you're an actor, you might not get anxious. But I got to tell you, there's a myriad of people who get anxious, and some really in a debilitating way. So I thought, you know what? My old mucker, Steve Norton, anxiety specialist, he'd be brilliant to get on and have a little chat and maybe share some secrets and some nuggets of how you can overcome your anxiety. Now, myself, do I get anxious? Yeah, all the time, particularly before something live, definitely. So I'm even quite anxious doing this now. So that's it's quite unusual. It's good. So who have we got on? Tom, good to see you there. Vixter, good to see you there. How are you getting on, by the way, in the lockdown? We have had snow down here. I'm down in West Sussex. We've had snow today, only a little smattering. In fact, it's probably more like a fluttering of snow down here, but it's still been very cold. Went out for a walk today. Good. So we're just waiting for Steve, and he's going to be on giving us some nuggets of wisdom. We'll have to get over all of the old school chum stuff first of all, because as I said, we have texted each other, but I've never ever, we haven't spoken in over 20 years. So to my active friends out there and all the other people that know me and my other friends as well, good evening, welcome along. How are you getting on? How is lockdown treating you? Myself, the first one I quite enjoyed. This one, I just can't wait for it to finish. I'm sure that many of you are the same. Tom, good to see you. Was it your birthday a couple of days ago, or am I just losing my mind there a little bit? I think I might be. Good. So we've just got a couple of minutes, and then Steve will be on. If he doesn't come on, I'll be very hyevery night this week. It'll only be 10-15 minutes. Somebody relevant to the industry. Yeah, hi Tom. It was your birthday. Yes, I remember now. Yeah, good. So happy birthday to you. And just to give some information. So if you want to come on, have a little chat and share some stuff with some people, then go for it. Now, before I came on, no, it was. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's good. It'll be good. Steve is he's quality. He's written a couple of books as well, but I'll let him tell you about that. And it's really good. So before I came on, I was watching Mr. Della, yeah, good to see you there. I was watching the musicals. Kirsty Jordan's on there as well. Good to see you, Kirsty. Fun Save's on there. Good. Lovely to see you there. I was watching the musicals, which was just brilliant. The thing that was on the BBC last night, recorded. Oh, my God. I was in rapture. It was brilliant. And the girl who used to be in the Pussycat Dolls, oh, my good God, she was like amazing. What an absolute legend of a performer she is. So Steve's on there. Steve, I think that you've got a request and ask to join. Good. Dance Dynamics sent a request to be in your live video. Good. We'll have a chat tomorrow. Where is he? Steve joined. There he is. Yeah. I don't really know what I'm doing, but hopefully by the end of the week, it'll be super slick. So Steve, you've got to press something and invite yourself. If anybody knows how to do this, in the just put it in the comments below. Good, there he is. Yeah, good. Dance Dynamic says, yeah, great voice, man. It was like such a moving performance. It was amazing. So I'm going to get Steve on seconds there, and hopefully be in there. Good, Ian. Good to see you there. Connor's, it's on there. Good. I think that's Julie, isn't it? Good to see you, Julie.
Hi, Mark. I believe I'm on.
My old mucker, Steve. How are you doing, mate?
I'm very good, thanks, mate. I'm very good. The miracles of technology. Let me just turn this up a little bit. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, yeah, it's great. I tell you what, isn't it miraculous how things come about? Because we haven't spoken in a long time, and we've only really sort of text, and now here we are, 20 years time, and we're talking to each other.
Probably more than 20 years, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, because we're 50 this year, aren't we?
Uh, I guess we are. I guess we are, sort of.
Yeah, I know.
But
You're probably thinking, hey, he only looks around 35. He looks really, really good.
you do, mate. You look amazing. The Botox is incredible.
Steve, I just wanted to say a big thanks for coming on and everything. So I've just been having a little chat there about what you do, and obviously you'll tell us. So in the stuff that I do, one of my lives that I've got, the acting, the anxiety can be quite debilitating for people. So I thought, do you know what? Who better than you to come on and share some stuff? So do you want to give us a bit of a background about what you do and how you got to be here and stuff?
So basically, Mark, you might not remember it at school, but like a lot of people who've got anxiety, they are masters at pretending they haven't got it. So when I was at school, I was a very nervous kid. I had a lot of problems. I had a lot of confidence issues. And that really dragged on till probably about my late teens. And then I started to actually look into how can I change these conditions that I've got? How can I change the way I feel? And I started to read loads and loads of books. And the first book that ever changed my life, really, was actually Paul McKenna's first ever book he ever made. And that was called The Hypnotic World of Paul McKenna. Now, that book is so old that Paul McKenna has a full head of hair on it. But literally, I remember reading that book thinking, no way. Because the first thing it taught me in that book was we are not set in stone. And the person that you think you are doesn't have to be the person that you are. You just need to know how to change it. So from that moment on, I pretty much just divulged so many different books, audio cassettes. I love those cassettes back in the day. Nightingale Corner, You Can Think Positive, you name it, I got them all. And I literally absorbed my brain every day with those things. And I thought, very, very quickly, I managed to get rid of all that anxiety. My confidence grew. All the things I believed were limitations were starting to disappear. And I thought, you know what? Other people need to know about this. So then decided to train.
Was it something that you made a conscious choice to do, or did you know that you were? Because quite often people who get anxious or they have confidence issues, like you said earlier, they try and mask it, you know, and I know that you were a big joker at school and stuff, so it sort of makes sense now that that was one of the ways that I'm thinking sort of hid your anxiety, yeah?
Absolutely. You know, I've even still now as an adult, I use humor to deflect everything. I'm always cracking jokes. But at school, I think because of my nerves, I would literally just be the class clown, making people, trying to make people laugh. I don't think I ever did, but I tried. And like I say, you wear this mask, don't you? Because I'll be honest, for most of my youth, I used to believe there was something wrong with me. That's not unique to me. I think a lot of people out there believe there's something not quite right with themselves. And I used to believe I was mentally defective. I used to believe I couldn't learn anything. I used to believe I was thick. All those things. And what I came to understand afterwards, Mark, was it wasn't that I couldn't learn anything. The way I was taught wasn't right for my brain. So what I learned afterwards was, as long as I could learn what I wanted to learn, I could basically learn anything.
Mm. It's really interesting you say that, because I think a lot of people, particularly who go into the acting profession, or you know, those sort of things, it's a bit of escapism as well, and they can become someone else. But it's like as soon as you step onto the stage or step in front of the camera, there's that little bit of threshold that you have to sort of get over. And then once you're in that other world, or you've got that other mask on, as you said, you do change. But I think sometimes people with their anxiety or confidence issues, they can't even get to that line to step over it, you know. And so if you've got any tips or, you know, things that people can do to help them overcome that, that would be brilliant.
Yeah. Well, I think the first thing to understand is that when you talk about acting, everything's about character, isn't it? It's like someone wears a policeman's uniform, they become that character, don't they? They're almost stepping in that role. When I put my suit on, I become Steve Anxiety Specialist. When I take it off, I'm just regular Steve. We're all acting to some degree, aren't we? We're all becoming, playing a part in life. But the biggest advice I would give to anyone, really, is to start to learn that your thoughts are just your imagination. And what I mean by that is when we look at anxiety, what it really is at the core, it is imagining what you don't want to happen in the future. That's what it is. Mm. And you run movies. You're like the director of a movie. You're running a movie. It's a disaster movie. So but before you do anything, you run a disaster movie. You get the feeling you don't like because your thoughts control the way we feel. So you've got to be very aware of the mental movies that you create in your mind. Because what you're either doing is you're either lining up a problem. So by imagining it first, your mind doesn't know the difference between what you do want and don't want. So when you're thinking about what you don't want, your mind thinks, this is what he or she wants.
Yeah.
It's like ordering what you don't want.
Here's
the thing, Mark.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. You think to yourself, by thinking what will go wrong, I'm helping to prepare for it. What you're really doing is planning for it.
Yeah. You set yourself up and program your mind for it. Then,
absolutely. Yeah. It's like Usain Bolt the night before the 100 meters final. He's not imagining falling over. He's imagining winning. But the average person imagines what they don't want to happen. Because they think, well, if I do that, I'm almost like bracing myself for it, just in case it does. Because if I don't brace myself, I'll crumble if it happens.
Man, you're so right, because I know this, and Tom, who was on earlier, we did a Shakespeare, and a live outdoor Shakespeare together. And, it came off, and I hadn't performed live for a long time. And stuff. So for me, there was a lot of dialogue and stuff and everything. And then I was watching Tom, and he was amazing, he came off, I said, what? He went, I got inside my head. And it took me ages to think what he actually meant by getting inside your head, but it's exactly what you're saying there, or maybe you'll put it on the comments. It's like you do start and replay these little things. I am terrible for saying, oh, what if I forget my words? What if I don't, what if I trip over? What if I do this? What if it's what if with me?
But the other thing is, you can flip what if. What if I don't? What if it's great? What if it's fantastic? What if it's a turning point in my life? What if doesn't have to be negative all the time? You can flip it.
That's sort of mind blowing in a way that Tom's just said there. It is so true, because I suppose, I don't know, as you say, the stories you make up. Mine would be going, I'm quite a positive guy, but it'd be more to the negative, and it's that fit.
Yeah, I mean, we're brought up. One of the things I always remember listening to when I was brought up was, don't have your hopes too high. You're only going to set yourself up for a fall, and, it's crazy stuff, but it's passed down through the generations.
Yeah. Like that, I suppose that victims of victims and stuff like that. So I've got a question, and reflected back on you, on your journey, knowing you a little bit and stuff like that. Now you have a successful business, and you're an author, and you're a public speaker, and you do all that sort of stuff. Do you still have to do work on yourself on a daily basis, or is this now you? Have you become the new Steve?
Yeah, here's a simple answer for that. How often do you have to brush your teeth?
Yeah, okay. I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
Every day. If you think of your mind like a muscle, if you don't work your muscles out, they'll go flabby and out of shape.
Yeah.
Your mind is a muscle. You've got to do something every day to maintain it. What some people think they can do, and I always say this to my clients, you can't come to see Steve for, say, 4 weeks and then think, well, that's it. I'm fixed for life.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't need to eat well. I don't need to do any exercise. I don't need to meditate. I'm fixed. That's like hiring a personal trainer for 4 weeks and saying, well, that's it. I'm going to be fit for life. You've got to work at happiness every day, because happiness in human beings, believe it or not, Mark, it isn't a default. It isn't a default for human beings to be happy. Happiness is something you have to cultivate every day. If you don't, it starts to slide.
That's really interesting. I've got a couple of comments there. The running mummy there, she says, constant work in progress. And I think that
Absolutely. And Becky knows that.
Yeah.
Becky knows that.
When you everybody, I suppose, as an actor, has a different process. But Anthony Hopkins says a great thing. He says, read the script. You know, he doesn't have any, I think he used to be like a method actor, but he said, read the script. And he reads it like he's famous for reading 150, 200 times. So he just becomes the character. And I suppose it's in that repetition. Yeah.
Absolutely. Repetition's the key. You know, you only get good at anything by repeating it. There isn't any quick fixes. I mean, you often see things advertised, don't you? Like 10 minutes to have the body of your dreams, you know, or learn how to play the piano in 5 minutes a day.
I've got that
these
book.
Things.
It doesn't.
You wrote it. And I'm really honest with my clients come to see me. I'll tell them, I say, there isn't any quick fixes. There isn't a magic pill. There isn't a special word that I will say that will create happiness in your life forever. Because if I could, if I knew that special word, I would be a billionaire. I wouldn't be a millionaire. I would be a billionaire.
Yeah, yeah. It's
the truth. There is no magic pill.
Nah, I was watching an interview with Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen, I don't know whether he came up to Newcastle in 1989 or something like that. It was when Born in the USA was really big, and I went to Newcastle to see him. So I've been a bit of a lifelong fan of him. And he was in an interview, and somebody said, "You get nervous?" And he went, and he thought about it, you know, in his way, and he said, "No," he said. But I know that something happens. He said, just before I'm going out there, he said, you know, I've got 20,000 people waiting. He said, I can hear the band. And he said,
yeah,
body starts to move. He said, I literally quake. He said, but he said, I've reprogrammed my mind to say, it's just telling me that it's getting ready.
That's right.
And I use that if I'm ever going to go on stage. Or to be fair, even coming on to do this with you tonight, I was thinking, oh, hang on a minute, I'm getting a bit just getting myself prepared. So it's great that, you know, mere mortals like myself, you know, and
me.
legends like Bruce Springsteen still sort of suffer, but I've learned to reframe it and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's funny, Mark, we saying that, because I always remember one time I did a public speaking event, and I relaxed myself really deeply before I did it. And it taught me so much, because I stood up there and I had no bite. I was just boring. I was stood there, I was relaxed. My voice was like monotone. And afterwards I thought to myself, that was really crap. And I realized that adrenaline, used right, we need it. Because without it, you just that little bit of sharpness that you need to give it a proper performance, if you get too relaxed, you won't have it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, I think when you watch master craftsmen and people who do that, it goes back to that repetition thing. Because I see some actors on stage, and you know, and I see them, and they're just cool and calm as a cucumber. And then, but I've seen them backstage, and they're like, you know, gibbering wrecks, and you suddenly think, wow. And so I suppose it's that command of doing it. So in terms of little techniques and things like that, you know, I think everybody's got their own little prep that they probably do. Some people just go on. Myself, it's in the breathing and stuff like that. Have you got any recommendations for that sort of stuff?
Well, before I do anything like that, I'm a big believer in mental rehearsal. Rehearsing in your mind before what you want, how you want to be. I always remember a story many, many years ago in the Olympics with Dean Macy. I don't know if you remember. Do Do you remember Dean Macy? Yeah. He was either a decathlon or something like that. But I remember watching the interview when he just done his personal best. He did a high jump of his personal best. And they said to him,
I'm hoping he's still there. They've got the internet up there in Teesside, haven't they? I think. Yeah. It might be my internet. I don't think it is, though. Yeah. Steve is down there. I think he's reprogramming his mind. Yeah. Yeah. Yay! But we've just been having a way to mentally rehearse.
Yeah, I don't know where you went, mate. I don't know if it was my phone or yours, but I've changed devices. Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah. It's all good. Well, I think it's a couple of people said, no, come on, I'm going, Steve, don't leave me. My anxiety levels, mate.
Yeah, it's all part of the plan. Make everyone anxious so they all phone me up for some business.
What's the way to get in touch with you and stuff like that? And how do you...
You were just breaking up a bit there, Mark. What was that, mate?
What's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
The best thing, really, Mark, is you can either follow me on Facebook, Steve Norton Anxiety Specialist, or I do have a website called anxietybreakthrough.co.uk. And you can send me a little message on there and set up a little chat with me. One thing I never do with people, Mark, is persuade them to come on board. I like people to be absolutely motivated. I like them to be ready. You've got to be ready for this stuff. It's not the sort of thing you can do, half-cocked. It's something you've got to be absolutely ready for. There's no saying, it's not the change that takes the time, it's getting ready to change that takes the time. And when you're ready...
Yeah, powerful, wow.
Yeah. You've got to get that point. You've got to reach that point in your life where you say, right, I need to do something about it. And that's the people I love working with, when they're absolutely ready to do it.
You said an interesting thing earlier when you said that you say, you'd be a billionaire if you knew exactly what to say. I suppose it links into what you're saying there. But so you're more of a guide and a facilitator to help people, and that's the gift, yeah?
It is. I look upon it as my job isn't to take them across the line. My job is to show them how to get across the line. My job isn't to hold their hand the whole way. I give them enough guidance and information for them to get them over that hump. And how far they go after that point is down to them. My job isn't to do everything, because the more you do for people at times, the more they'll rely on you. My job is to make them self-reliant, not the other way around. Not reliant on me.
Yeah.
Just get them over that hump. Show them what they need. And then watch them develop. Watch them flourish. Watch them become that person that I know they can be.
Yeah, it's amazing. Steve, just before we wrap up, two questions for you. One is about this fears of failure. I think that's probably more common. But there is the fear of, and I think that's a very real. What do you say to people who maybe think of fear of failure, but really fear of?
Well, you only fail when you stop trying. Now, if you there's two ways of looking at things, right? The immature way is that if you do something wrong, you sit there all day long and you beat yourself up about it. That's the immature way. That's like a child's way. The mature way is, if you do something wrong, you say to yourself, okay, what can I learn from that? What can I extract from that experience that will make my life better in the future? So you've got two things on the table there. You can go for option one or option two. Depends which one you want to take. There are no failures in life. Only thinking makes it so.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. Steve, I'm loving your work, and I would highly recommend your book. I don't know whether you remember, but you sent me an email of that a few months ago. It was like a little draft or something of it that I got, and it was great. In fact, I'm probably talking a good years back.
Must have been, yeah.
One of those text things. So I would highly recommend that to people. So how can they get hold of that if they want to get hold of that?
Yeah, just message me on my website or find me on Facebook. I'm not hard to find. I'm polluting everyone's Facebook at the moment. I'm worse than the virus. I'm all over the place. So yeah, I'm not hard to find.
I love it. Steve, thanks very much for on and sharing your big info with us, and it's been brilliant. Let's not leave it 20 years because time's ticking.
Hey, I might have 20 years left.
But that's what. March. When's your birthday?
June the 27th.
June the 27th. Okay, so March. I think Amanda's is in June sometimes. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
all the best.
Yeah, and you, Mark. Nice chatting to you, mate.
Okay. Good to see you, mate.
Take care, pal. Bye-bye.
Steve, everyone. Whoa! Brilliant. So I hope you enjoyed that. I don't know whether I've just kicked him off there or something, but listen, I hope you enjoyed that. Lovely to see you. Thanks very much for coming on. I'm going to leave this on for the 24 hours. And look at me. I look like a right vest with that pillar behind. I think that came out of a thing. It's not real. It's not real. Dale, good to see you there. Tom, thanks very much for watching. And if that's helped you in any way, do let Steve know. Follow him, join him. He's a great guy. So he's, on Instagram, better see Steve, or if you look for the specialist, the anxiety specialist. And you never know, Dale, you might want to come on and share some of your philosophy. It's good being in the artsy world. It would be great. Tom, give us a text. Let us know if you want to come on. Thanks very much, Victor. But listen, have a great night. I am off to watch The Greatest Showman. Yeah. So whatever you're doing, have a great one. Stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you tomorrow night, round about 8 o'clock. Who knows who will be the special guest then? Thanks for watching, everyone. See you later. Bye for now. I don't even know how to turn it off. Cheers, Steve. Thanks for watching. Just thinking about it. See you later now. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. I think I'll know how to turn it off.